Joining me now, Fox News senior strategic analyst, General Jack Keane. General, what do you make of this action? Is it necessary?
Well, I don't really understand what's happening here. I mean, if we're looking at security clearances and who should keep them after they finish government service as a matter of policy, I think that's probably okay. Let's take a look at it and see. I know in the military, I mean, you're not going to keep your security clearance unless there's a reason for it. In other words, you've left the military, but you're still working for the government in some capacity, or you're working in an industry where security clearance is required, and then every 5 years you're going to get it activated again. This appears to is targeted at individuals, which means it seems personal to me. And frankly, I understand the frustration the administration feels. I mean, I've not seen it in my time dealing with the government to have the kind of animus that is against this administration by previous government officials. And some of that is, obviously gets very personal. Well, all that said,
right.
I don't see the policy issue here.
The Wall Street Journal has an editorial on this matter. It's a short one, but the headline says it all. Dumb idea of the week. They said that it's petty. It's a dumb idea. They write that somebody should have said that's a dumb idea. It will make us look petty and it won't accomplish anything. And in fact, Jim Comey says that he was read out when he left as FBI director and he no longer has his security clearance. And Andy McCabe has said the same thing, that his security clearance is no longer, it's been deactivated. So it's that issue. Maybe they're using, the other gentleman could be using these security clearances in consulting work, perhaps. Nevertheless, it's not going to shut them up, to be quite blunt. They're going to keep these individuals, including John Brennan. And by the way, General, I want you to listen to Senator Rand Paul, what he said about former CIA Chief John Brennan.
Had a great conversation with the president. I've been very concerned about John Brennan continuing to have access to classified material. I think anyone who's calling basically the president treasonous, which would require the death penalty, is someone that is over the top and not showing the proper judgment to still have access to classified information.
Just your reaction to that, General.
Well, I think this is a political issue here. Brennan's opposed to the president, and he's created a lot of animosity. That's where we are. I don't think for a minute that Brennan's going in and getting classified briefing from the CIA that help him criticize the president. That's not happening. That's absolutely a stretch. And in terms of monetizing this thing, National Security Advisor Rice and others who had that position, and former directors of the Central Intelligence Agency, if they're out there trying to earn a living, that's happening as a result of the positions they held and the reputation they earned in those positions. It's got nothing to do with a security clearance.
Well said, General. Switching now to North Korea, satellite images show that the rogue regime is dismantling its primary rocket launch site. This as the administration continues to negotiate with the North over its nuclear program. How significant is this move, General, or is it an empty gesture?
This is a step in the right direction. This is a test facility, and this is something that they promised months ago as a result of an earlier visit by Secretary Pompeo, but they never came through with it. And I think he really put it on the table as a result of his last discussions with them. So they're fulfilling something that they promised they would do. Good sign. Now, that's not disarming and dismantling nuclear capability, and that is what we're waiting for. And I don't know if we're going to get there or not, but the administration certainly has a much better feel for it. The key denominator is, have they given the administration the location and the identity of all of their nuclear and ballistic missile sites? If that's happened and we're able to go out there and take a look at them to verify that they're there and comply with what we already know from our intelligence services, then we're really making some progress. If that hasn't happened yet, then we're not making the kind of progress we should be making.
And then, again, we're dealing with issues on all fronts around the world, and we have tensions with Iran growing. The war of words continues between President Trump and the Islamic Republic. The commander-in-chief warning Iran, tweeting this, quote, and this was in all caps, this was yesterday, to Iranian president, or it was late Sunday, To Iranian President Rouhani, never ever threaten the United States again, or you will suffer consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered before. We're no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence and death. Be cautious. Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif responding, he tweeted this: "Color us unimpressed. The world heard even harsher bluster a few months ago, and Iranians have heard them, albeit more civilized ones, for 40 years. We've been around for millennia and seen fall of empires, including our own, which lasted more than the life of some countries. Be cautious." What does this say to you? Because, again, if you were listening to Mike Pompeo at that speech he gave Sunday night at the Reagan Library, or on Sunday, that it's really his words that are kind of great guidance out of this administration about the danger of the Iranian empire. He talked about Iran is run something that resembles the mafia more than a government.
Yeah, well, I don't do much analysis of the president's tweets. I mean, I think they're out there to inform the American people. But when you look at the policies of this administration, I mean, to be frank about it, this is the first administration that's pushed back on Iran from 1980, 38 years, whether there's been a Republican or Democrat there. The fact is that Iran's had a brilliant strategy that they've executed to some degree of success by using proxies to do their bidding for them. And by using proxies, it's sort of paralyzed our decision-making to take adverse action against them. And that's why they're in Lebanon with 130,000 rockets pointed at rockets and missiles pointed at Israel. That's why they've now secured pretty much most of Syria, not all of it, but pretty close. And that's their strategic anchor in the Middle East. They've got significant political influence over the Iraqi government, and they started a civil war in Yemen because they're very much interested in controlling the strategic waterway access to the Suez Canal, much as they have influence over the Straits of Hormuz. They have been moving for 38 years to dominate and control the Middle East. This is the first president that's pushing back on that. And I think he's also going to likely form something we've been talking about here on Fox, sort of an Arab NATO with the Sunni Arabs to push back on the Iranians, because last July, among 55 leaders in the region, he said, "I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you to push back on your strategic enemy and my strategic enemy in the region, the Islamic State of Iran." So, yeah, this administration is going to take Iran to task. They are not going to permit this aggressive and malign behavior that's been trampling over our allies' interests and those of the United States.
And this is the way with Mike Pompeo. He called out individuals in Iran by name for their corruption. And he also he highlighted the fact that Iran is directing funds to terrorist dictators and proxy militias, which was one of the concerns about the Iran nuclear deal in the first place, is this nation got $100 billion in sanctions relief and literally pallets of cash sent in the middle of the night as a ransom for those hostages. So, General, just really quick final word on that. Are we lucky to have Mike Pompeo in that Secretary of State job along with Nikki Haley at the UN?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, this national security team that we've got in place here is as good as I've ever seen, and Mike Pompeo is a star in that group. He's amazing, and that speech really deserves to be read twice because he's also appealing to the Iranian people, and there is real softness there because they're so frustrated economically.